Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening them. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. How many legs does a dog have if you call his tail a leg? 4. Saying that a tail is a leg doesn't make it a leg. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. All that I am, or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. I will prepare, and someday my chance will come. Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea. But if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him. Marriage is neither heaven nor hell. It is simply purgatory. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts. The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as his liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. Plainly, the sheep and the wolf are not agreed upon a definition of liberty. We should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. If I were two-faced, would I be wearing this one? Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. You have to do your own growing no matter how tall your grandfather was. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under the rule of a just God, cannot long retain it. If we could first know where we are, and whither we are tending, we could then better judge what to do, and how to do it. Avoid popularity if you would have peace. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. You can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. Character is like a tree and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. And that's my religion. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts. Not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. That some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. He has a right to criticize, who has a heart to help. When you have got an elephant by the hind legs and he is trying to run away, it's best to let him run. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? This country, with its institutions, belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right of amending it, or exercise their revolutionary right to overthrow it. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of earth. Repeal the Missouri Compromise. Repeal all compromises. Repeal the Declaration of Independence. Repeal all past history. You still cannot repeal human nature. It will be the abundance of man's heart that slavery extension is wrong. And out of the abundance of his heart, his mouth will continue to speak. No matter how much cats fight, there always seem to be plenty of kittens. A friend is one who has the same enemies as you have. A house divided against itself cannot stand. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. The best way to get a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life. I want it said of me by those who knew me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who'll get me a book I ain't read. Let's have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us, to the end, dare to do our duty as we understand it. Labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor, and could never have existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital, and deserves much the higher consideration.